Morning Juice. Sports, insight, and great storytelling. Starring Bobby Carpenter and Jeff Tito Thitoff. It's time to attack and dominate.
Attack and dominate. That's what we'll do here on a Monday. I'm Tito, Jeff Thitoff. The man on my left is now Brady Bunch picture underneath me, it looks like. He's Bobby Carpenter. Bodie over there. Good morning, Bobby. How are you, my friend?
I am doing great, Jeff. How are you doing today, sir?
I'm doing all right, buddy. The sports-filled weekend. Sports-filled weekend for the kids. You know, lots going on.
That's good.
Yeah,
right?
Lots going on. Yes, it is.
That's fun.
Okay. The rare Saturday off from all of my employ. And so a long weekend. You know this. I already had 3 football games, flag football games, and 2 soccer games Saturday, and then 2 more Sunday. The kid was spent. But the horseshoe was fun on Saturday.
How about you, though? How about you? Were you spent?
Yes, Bob. You know what? I realize this, Bobby. You know, not revealing any family secrets here, but like, you know, Artie and Caleb play flag football together. You're normally DC out there running the defense. I am a coach that does nothing but really just tell kids to be quiet and pay attention and that kind of thing. And it was a different role without you being there on Saturday this weekend. It was a lot more work on my part. I had to pay attention a lot more than I usually do. And I recognize what it's like to not have you there.
Well, I appreciate that. Yeah, you got to run around and just get the kids in the right position, make sure they're ready to go and ready to rock. So it's not the craziest thing in the world, but yeah, it does take a little bit of, I guess, TLC, Jeff, when you're paying attention to the game. You're just not an observer then. You're someone who has to actually participate in it, maybe not as a player, but then as a coach.
Well, and I want you to know that Caleb treated me as an uncle. He threw his coat at me and asked me to hold it for him. When he forgot his coat, he asked me if I go down and get it for him or show, and I walked him down to get his coat when he left on the field. And he said, "It's my dad's coat. He doesn't need it." He was like one of your. It looked like one of the old, like the ones they would wear like on the football sidelines kind of thing. I don't know how it ever fit you, but he said, "It's my dad's coat. It's okay. We can leave it here." I said, "No, we're not leaving your dad's coat here. We're going to get the coat. We're not going to leave it here." So
I don't know if that's factually accurate either.
I don't think it is either.
It's making stuff up and telling lies. I mean, I don't think there is a coat that he has that was mine. Now, maybe there was. My mom saves everything and has started giving my kids my old coats. That the fact that she had them 30, 35 years later is amazing. But, yeah. I mean, so maybe it was. I didn't see what he wore, but that I don't tend to believe that to be the case, but maybe it was.
2 full hours here on YouTube, the Fan app at HD3. Download the show anytime. Catch us from 10 a.m. to noon on 10 TV Plus. We are also replaying the show on the Fan 2, 1460 a.m. from 1 to 3 p.m. Bodie, I have to literally type in I have to burgundy that, or I'll say the other one that we used to be on. I said Fan 2, but I got it right here in big red text for me. Morning Juice sponsored by Riverside Bank in Dublin, Event Risk Elite Protection. Bodie, where else can people find us?
That would be on Facebook and Twitter.
Live.
Or X.
Yeah.
If that's what you want to call it.
Excuse you, Bobby. And we got a big show lineup for you today. Bill Bender from the Sporting News will join us at 6:20. Lots going on. And even on a bye weekend, lots going on. Bobby, did you the news
Colin
about
Baton Rouge?
The news about Brian Kelly. T-Bone and I both already told Bodie when we first heard it, we thought of him. Is that the first person you thought of as well about Brian Kelly getting fired?
No, because I had kind of talked to some of the guys that on XM as we were doing the show on Friday, and then I do on Saturday morning as well, which is why I wasn't at the football stuff. That it's like, man, if they I thought there was a good chance that they could win that game.
Yep.
But I'm like, if they get boat race, there's a chance that he gets fired. It's at home. It's at night. They have a crazy good record at night games down in Tiger Stadium, and they're not going to want to see them get beat up in a big way, and that's what happened. So Brian is a stubborn guy. There were some changes they asked him to make. He didn't feel that those need to be made, and ultimately, I mean, there's worse things in life. He's got a $50 million buyout. Now it's not all do at once, but I don't think he ever coaches again. Not
really.
I don't. I think he's 64 years old.
Wow.
He left Notre Dame to go try to win a championship. Where is he going to get a job that he would have that opportunity now?
Penn State.
There we go. Penn State.
I don't think Penn State will hire him.
I don't think
if
so
they do,
either.
then that would be a chance. I don't think Florida's going to hire him. LSU is the only other job that's open where that's the case. But at 64, could you see him taking the UCLA job or the Virginia Tech job or a lesser job where you know that you're not going to be able to win a national championship? That would be a building job to get back. And at 64, you're not building your career again. Like, you're getting one more job to try to make a run before you're 70.
I'm wondering, Bob, I'm trying to think of which accent he'd have to learn. Maybe Boston College he could try to speak like.
He is from Boston.
Yeah, maybe he could do
so
that. I wonder if he'd probably master. That could be more natural for him as far as when he's family, when he says whatever he wants to say or whatever, maybe Boston would fit more in there if Bill O'Brien ends up going bye-bye there.
But the thing is, he's used to Notre Dame and LSU. Boston College is not that place.
Yeah, you're right.
Not even close.
Yeah. Browns lost. God, what a rough day for the AFC North. Most of them, at least. Browns lost the Patriots 32-13. Bengals somehow give up 39 points to the Jets and lose that one 39-38. Steelers lose last night to Green Bay 35-25. Ravens only team to win in the AFC North. I'll still call them the AFC Central. Ravens over the Bears 30-16. What else we got? The World Series Game 3 tonight in L.A. at 8 o'clock. They are tied one game apiece. CBJ at Dallas on Tuesday. Ohio State men's basketball team won their preseason game. They beat OU yesterday. I think it's 7 guys in double figures for Ohio State. They really shot the lights out there. And Ohio State, that's their last and only official, I guess, that we could see preseason game or listen to, I guess. Keels and Stokes were on the call for that yesterday. And like I say, big show lined up for you today. Bobby, where are you today?
I am down in Orlando. I'm speaking to the Orlando Touchdown Club. So this was planned months ago. I come down here every year to do this. The lady that's in charge of it is a Central Ohio gal, so she's a big Buckeye, and so they've got actually Lou Holtz and Corso up, I think, in a couple of weeks to speak. Well, assuming they make it there, you cross your fingers.
Wait, Holtz is there or not there? Not yet?
Well, no, he's not yet. He's going to be speaking in a couple of weeks. They had Ron Zook. Rick Neuheisel comes in. So, I mean, I'm like the lower tier on the moniker here.
You're one of the opening acts.
But yeah, I mean,
like Foo Fighters later on. You're like, you're the.
Well, I am the act. I am the act for this event.
Okay.
So we'll see how well attended. They have meetings every 2 weeks, so they get speakers that come through as the entertainment. I've done this every couple times. Have you explained
to them that if Lou can't make it for some reason, you can fill in as Lou? Have you told them that yet?
The lady who does it is an avid watcher of our show.
Good.
She said there's some Notre Dame fans, and someone would be very disappointed, very sad if I did it. But I go, I do the impersonation. It's endearing. It's not meant to make fun of them.
No.
I'm like, if anybody's listened to him, the guy, Rothman always said, he goes, the greatest thing that Lou Holtz ever did was to be able to be a head football coach and then be a member in the media with a speech impediment.
Right.
Because how many people do you know that can get on TV and talk like this?
Right.
I mean, it's pretty amazing.
Hey, Bob, there's nobody doing Tito impersonations anywhere. Okay, if you're doing an impersonation of somebody, it means other people will know who you're doing. If you did a Tito at that place, they'd be like, "What the hell is he doing? He sounds like an idiot." If you do Holtz, they'll go, "That's Lou Holtz." That's it. I think it's a compliment when you're doing somebody.
That's what I'm saying. It's very unique. Imitation is the greatest form of flattery. I was like, I really like Lou Holtz. I think he's a great man and a hell of a football coach. I go, it's not a knock. It's just the fact that, yes, this guy does have a little bit of a speech impediment that gives him a unique delivery. And, I mean, hopefully I do it fairly well. But, yeah, she said that the one guy would be a little upset. I go, I'll have to talk to him about it and let him know that it's
you do it in Holt's voice. When you do it in Holt's voice when you meet the guy. Just start right
I
in.
don't know if I'll start that out. He's actually the one picking me up and taking me over tomorrow, or tonight.
Better.
So I don't know if I'll do that.
All
yeah,
right.
It was a long day yesterday getting here with Thitoff. So
I got to tell you though, Bobby and Bodie, I'm taking offense to this.
Okay.
He looks happy and he's glowing today. Like he looks more awake and into this than I'm not saying he doesn't. I'm just saying I think that the fact he's away from the studio, he looks like he's enjoying this show more already.
Bob, I would like you, it appears, if I can tell by the picture frame in the background.
Yeah.
Looks like you're looking at a TV potentially. I would kind of prefer
Chasing,
to you
yes.
to put that TV behind your neck. That way you have to like turn around and look at it like
Yeah,
you're
there we
in
go.
the studio.
Yeah,
But
I feel bad.
Well, I'm looking at your guy Dak right now.
so
He's
am I,
7'3".
Bob.
Never mind. You're good then. You're good. You're fine there. All right, Bob. Let's from Florida. Let's make people smarter.
Time to get smarter. Morning Juice presents Today in History. Here's your professor, Bobby Carpenter.
All right, Bobby. I just had to move your microphone because it was blocking my beautiful face. What do you got for us today?
That's good. Yeah, you want to make sure you really open that up and give the folks what they want.
Yep.
It is Monday, October 27th, the 300th day of the year. 65 days remaining in this 2025. This date's 1682. Philadelphia is founded not in the state, but in the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania. 1775, King George III expands on his proclamation of rebellion in of the 13 colonies in his speech to Parliament. State 1810, the United States annexes the Spanish colony of Florida at the time. I believe they called it Florida.
Florida?
Some people call it now Florida.
Oh, yes.
But it's got multiple names. This state, 1961, the American Basketball League begins play, the ABL, if you will. This state, 1964. Speaking of Florida, Ronald Reagan delivers his speech on behalf of Barry Goldwater, who was the Republican presidential candidate, I believe, at the time, called A Time for Choosing, which launched his political career and ultimately his run for president.
If nothing in life is worth dying for, when did this begin? Just in the face of this enemy? The martyrs of history were not fools. And our honored dead, who gave their lives to stop the advance of the Nazis, didn't die in vain. Where then is the road to peace? Well, it's a simple answer after all. You and I have the courage to say to our enemies, there is a price we will not pay, there is a point beyond which they must not advance.
Bobby, I remember the Barry Goldwater thing.
Nazis.
The Barry Goldwater thing, when they had the signs that said A, capital A, lowercase u, then H2O. Goldwater was like a lot of their big campaign thing.
Did they have those at like the game day outside?
I'm not sure if they had those.
Signs up?
By the way, Kathy's
No, I didn't
listening,
know if they-
Bob.
Of course she is.
I'm
She
the
listens
Touchdown Club person
day.
Orlando that asked Bobby and
Yes.
watches your show. He definitely isn't a lower tier speaker.
Some other news today. This state, Kathy's the best. 1982. This state, 1982. 1999. The fifth studio album is released by Prince. There we go. I mean, when it was actually 1999, Bodie, that was a pretty wild party.
I can
everybody just
imagine,
played
yeah.
that song then. Well, I mean, 1982, if you're going to party like it's 1999, imagine when it was actually 1999.
It was sixth grade when that song came out. That one, Little Red Corvette, and people were just loving Prince.
Bangers, man.
Yes, they were.
Absolute bangers. Really big dude, too.
It was all
this
of
thing,
5'3".
Oh, and it might weigh like 113 pounds.
Right.
He wears women's clothes before it was cool.
Cane
This
blouses.
thing, yeah, exactly. I mean, Dave Chappelle was honestly,
Yes.
he was so far ahead of the curve in 2002 that you couldn't even predict that stuff. This date, 1998, Doo-Wop, That Thing, is released by Lauryn Hill as her first solo single.
Sorry.
There you go. Oh, God.
We thought we were
you
still
sound
going
great,
there,
Bob.
Bob. I thought so.
Sound great. A little different genre. 1999, Falling Away From Me, debuted by Korn on South Park, is where, nonetheless.
It's gonna be better tomorrow. Falling away from me, falling away
hard rock on a Monday morning, Thitoff. Get you alive and awake.
If you can get a Corso impression, Bob, you and I go on the road as like a two-man, like a show, like we could be like Penn and Teller, where I won't say anything. I'll just be there. You do all the impressions, and we split the money.
Oh, that sounds great. Would you like my stagehand?
No, I'll be the other guy. I'll be Andrew Ridgely. You could be George Michael. Let's do it.
Ridgely.
I'll be Andrew Ridgely.
Sounds good. Andrew Ridgely. Get some questions about Andrew Ridgely. But this day, 2006, the St. Louis Cardinals defeat the Detroit Tigers in Game 5 for their 10th World Series. MVP goes to Dennis Eckstein.
At the plate for the Tigers. Strike 2. Last night Inge hit a fastball. He hasn't seen one in this at bat yet. For the first time since 1982, St. Louis has a World Series winner.
There you go. Getting it done in 06. And then in 2014, 1984 is released by Taylor Swift, featuring her hit single, Shake It Off.
It's like I got this music in my mind saying it's gonna be alright. 'Cause the players gonna play, and the haters gonna hate, baby. I'm just gonna shake it off, shake it off.
I can do the Shake It Off, Bob. I can also do the Beyonce.
Single ladies.
Yeah, Single Ladies.
I didn't know if you're having a stroke or what.
No, Bob, I was getting into it there,
I was
Bob.
kind of
That's all
worried.
it was. Just shake it off.
Call you for help. Some birthdays today. Isaac Singer, born on this date in 1811, founder of the founder, which is the sewing machine. Let me ask you, Thitoff, do you have a sewing machine in your home?
We. If I were a jerk, I'd say yes. I married her. No, we don't have one,
cool.
Bob. We did have
She's
one before.
A multi-purpose tool. She
Yes.
also is a dishwasher and sweeper as well.
But I'm not going to do that, Bob, because I'm better than that. In home ec in the 8th grade at Clinton Middle
This class
School.
is a joke.
No offense. I had a girlfriend of mine do did the shirt we had to make. We had to make a shirt, I think it was, and I'd make her. I asked her to do it. She did it for me.
Shirts and pants?
It was shirts and pants.
It's a little on the nose, but
yes. So I did make a small profit off of it. Bob, yes, I had somebody else do my project for me.
Do you have it? Do you have a sewing machine in your home?
No, I do not.
I'm curious, like how
I
many
don't.
people in America know? Like that was always a thing. My mom, grandma, we'd sew stuff, fix things. We have a sewing machine. I believe it's still in the box from our wedding. We've been married for almost 20 or 18
That was a
years.
wedding gift?
Yeah, I don't think it's ever been opened.
Do you know who gave it to you? You don't have to say the name. I'm
that's a
saying, do you
good
know it?
question.
Okay, because I think
I don't. My wife might. If we sit down, I think we might be able to get there.
Bodie's going to get onto the Morning Juice Twitter, and we'll put that out there. Is a sewing machine a terrible wedding gift? So, Bodie, I want you to put it out there on our Morning Juice Twitter page. Is a sewing machine a terrible wedding gift? Because I contend it is.
That's great.
You think it's a good wedding gift? Or just a good question?
It's an expense. It's
Yes.
an expensive wedding gift.
but,
Like
okay.
it's not cheap.
But, Bob, wouldn't you want them to spend their money on something else? Then that, if they're going to spend that kind of money on a gift, let's not give a damn sewing machine. Let's give something better than a sewing machine.
It's practical and functional. I mean, the thing is, like, are you going to use it?
I'll say it's so practical you haven't opened it up in 20 years, Bob. That's how practical it is.
Well, because if I need something sewed, I give it to my mother-in-law or my mom. So, I mean, that's the thing. I can use it. Like I actually made my own shirt in home ec. I made my pillow. I got an A on it.
So we
It
had a
was
pillow
good.
too. I picked up the pillow. I've made, and I also had to do an ashtray in industrial arts back in the 6th grade at Franklin Alternative Middle School.
Yeah, you and Patrick Swayze when you're
Yes.
getting on that clay machine.
Oh, it was
sitting there
awkward.
making that ashtray. It's amazing.
Yes.
There we go. Got a lot of run on that sewing machine. Teddy Roosevelt, born on this date, 1858. Bodie, what president was Theodore?
just like Deron Bland, who had a great game yesterday, number 26.
Look at this.
Gosh, look at this guy.
I know, man. I know.
On it. I mean, he When they said you're going to take over for Shark,
Yes.
he literally leaned in and was like, I'm going to become Shark.
That's what he is.
Like single white female style. I'm going to, here's you, here's me, like the motivational speaker.
I feel like, Bob, we
Matt
picked
Foley.
up Doc on the side of the road heading to a baseball game. Like, we got the younger Shark is gone. We got the younger Doc from Field of Dreams.
Bodie might be able to do Jeopardy when he's done.
Yes.
He should start applying, Bodie. That's pretty impressive. You and Aaron Rodgers. Born on this date in 1941, the legendary race car driver Dick Trickle.
Great name. Good Lord.
It is a great name.
I know.
I mean, the fact that Cole Trickle is Tom Cruise's name in Days of Thunder, like it almost sounds like a made-up movie name.
See, that's another poll question right there, Bob. What's a better sports name, Dick Trickle or Dick Pole? The old, what was he, pitching coach for the Indians back then?
Oh, yeah. Absolutely. Turning 83 today. I just watched him sing at Charlie Kirk's memorial. Cannot believe he still actually sings pretty well. Mr. Lee Greenwood with God Bless, or Mr. Lee Greenwood, if you will.
Who gave that right to me, and I gladly stand up next to you and defend her still today. 'Cause there ain't no doubt I love this land. God bless the USA.
Heard that song.
So proud to be an American.
Heard that song 472 times in that one summer when people were coming back from Desert Storm. Had to go to all the different homecomings and cover them for the Army. And every place I went, they play that song multiple times. It was great. Loved it.
It's a lot of run.
Yep.
Great, fine American. Rick Carlisle, former NBA coach, turning 66 today. And then Notre Dame legend, Dublin, Ohio native Brady Quinn, turning 41.
So it all falls on the shoulders of Brady Quinn. He does get one more chance. Trying to pull it out for the Irish.
And Tom, we were talking to Darius Walker yesterday about Brady Quinn in situations like this. He says he has such command of the huddle. You look at his eyes and you think things are going to be all right.
Bruin, 45.
Hickman up here. Triple team.
Quinn pumps once. Buys some time and finds Samardzija. Samardzija with a cutback. 5. Touchdown! Can you believe it? 45 yards. Quinn to Samardzija. Joya's extra point is good. 27 seconds. And Brady Quinn's legend continues at Notre Dame.
He gets drafted by a different team, Bob. If he gets drafted by a different team, it's a much different career for him, right?
I don't know. The Browns are known for developing quarterbacks.
I'm just saying. Like, I really thought he was talented enough to have a decent career in the NFL if he would have gone to a different situation.
It wasn't like the Browns were the only team that had a first-round grade on him. I mean, that's why I used to always tell people so much of success in the NFL is timing, situation, your coaches that are around you. And that's why we've seen now Danny Dimes. You've watched Baker Mayfield.
Sam Darnold.
Like all of those guys. Even, what's his name up in Detroit?
Goff? Stafford? No.
Jared Goff.
Yeah.
Jared Goff. Everybody's like, well, when they just traded him as a throw-in from the Rams, they'll just cut him after a year. They've made him their starting quarterback, and he's playing like MVP caliber level. Sometimes it's just change of scenery, different system, new confidence. Yes, I most of the guys I would say that are drafted in the first round, now not all of them. I don't know if Richardson was ever that case. But a lot of those guys could have the ability to be a first-round pick, and they've got the mentality to do it. It's just a function of putting them in a situation to succeed and then having consistency around them, which when you're firing coaches every 2 years and getting new coordinators with them, even on off years, some of these guys, they've go through like 3 coordinators in 5 years, and you're like, wow, they don't look like they've really grown much. Well, no doubt, because they spend every year learning an offense instead of getting better at it.
Did you go to the right situation?
I don't know. I think at the time I did.
Okay.
Played for America's team.
I know.
Tito.
Played for. I know. You're right. Played for Jerry Jones. I didn't know. I didn't know if you ever looked at it and said.
Whenever you're coach, they change stuff a little bit. When the people that draft you are no longer there, there's less of the inherent investment in your development than moving forward.
Okay.
Like you're not. They don't have to own you as a success or as a failure. So there's things that, I mean, I loved my time in Dallas. I appreciated going there.
A lot of friendships you developed too. A lot of things that have carried on with you.
Yes, unless I had some success there, probably not to the degree that they would have liked or that I would have liked either. So it just when Parcells got fired, I didn't realize how big of a deal that would be for me. I wish I could have played for Bill for another year. I think, and maybe then things end up differently. Who knows? Maybe I break my leg and never play again. I don't know. Like there's you could always go down the hypothetical wormhole of what things happen, how they could have been in a different parallel universe, in the multiverse of madness, Bodie. Speaking of the multiverse of madness, turning 37 today, one of the most iconic voices in OSU basketball history, winner of the Wooden Award, Evan Turner.
David Lighty will be the inbounder from the back baseline. Inbounds Turner, left side of the backcourt. Turner across the timeline, throws it from high on the right. He hit it, Evan Turner! He hit it just inside of half court. Evan Turner at the buzzer knocks down a long three from high on the right. You gotta be kidding as Evan Turner hits a shot that everybody dreams of.
Pop says 37 in iconic voice, and I was thinking, wait, Keels is
I
not
had the wrong
37.
cut,
Right, I was
honestly.
Keels isn't 37.
Just the
Stokes
wrong
isn't 37. Who the hell's 37 with iconic voice? And that now makes sense.
Celtics legend, Evan Turner.
Yes.
Yeah. What's funny is I don't know which is a better call. Ronnie jumping over Keels yelling he makes it before Paul even gets out. Because, Ronnie being a player, and it's just crazy, like being able to probably judge the arc of the ball and thinking like it's got a chance, knowing when it was, that obviously deep shot against Michigan right there. That was a huge shot to end the game.
Yeah.
That versus my man Lachey chanting defense and playing Miami in the national championship. Just like, hey, we're in the game now, buddy. This is it.
Could you separate yourself if you're doing that? If you are Keels in that situation, or if I'm sorry, not Keels, if you are Lachey.
If you're doing the home call,
right,
for a broadcast, do people want you to be separate?
I don't think they do. I think they want you to be the homer. Not a homer's wrong. Homer sounds cheesy. I'm saying they'd want you to be invested emotionally and show it.
Yes.
There.
They want you to be calling the game as if you were watching it as a fan.
Yeah.
Like that's the ultimate. I think that's part of the goal of it. So, yeah, I think you can decouple it some. I've had to do that when I was working at ESPN. That was hard.
Sure.
Very, very difficult. But you can. But like I said, I don't know that they fully want you. There's a certain degree of professionalism they want you to maintain. But I think you can probably keep, 50 to 70% of your fandom while watching the game. And that's what gives it the color there. Some other birthdays, former Blue Jacket, now I believe playing with the Blues, turning 33, Brandon Saad. And Cavs legend, I was hoping to get something for him, Mr. Alonzo Ball, turning 28 years young. Time now for some holidays and observances here. It is American Beer Day. It's Boxer Shorts Day. It is National Potato Day, Navy Day as well. And those are your historical events, your birthdays, your passings, your holidays, observances for this date, Monday, October 27th, the 300th day of the year, and 65 days remaining in this 2025. Bodie, before we get going, yesterday was the 26th. The Friday before that was the 25th. I wasn't in there on Friday. Did you do Today in History?
Yes. Yeah. Yep.
Do you know who was born? I don't know if you got him or not. Unfortunately, I didn't get a chance to catch that part of the show. Did you get the former Notre Dame coach's birthday on the 25th?
I don't think we did. I think we missed that one.
Yeah, we did,
Yeah, he turned 64 on Friday, fired on Sunday.
I don't think we got him. Yeah, I don't remember bringing it up, Bobby.
Sorry, Coach
No, he
Kelly.
turned 64 on. You know why you didn't get? No, check that. He turned 64 on Saturday.
Okay.
My bad.
Okay.
So you wouldn't have got him.
Happy
Turned
birthday.
64. Elko gave him a loss, and then they gave him $50 million to walk out the door. So not a terrible birthday present, but probably not the birthday he had hoped for.
$800,000 a month, Bob. I think he's okay.
His two former defensive coordinators got him fired.
Yes, right. Bob, you said it's National Boxer Day?
Yeah.
I feel weird wearing a thong today. Then you should have told me that before the show. If I would have had that information, I could have changed my attire. Coming up next. Yeah, well done as always, General. Coming up next, Bill Bender joins us. Lots to talk about in college football. We'll do that next. Morning Juice.
James Laurinaitis here for my guys at Green & Sons, the premier Kubota dealership in Central Ohio. Green & Sons has all the Kubotas you need to tackle your land and come out a winner. They have zero-turn, skid steers, tractors from 18 to 171 horsepower, and also utility vehicles. My favorite is my RTV Sidekick. The best thing about Green & Sons is they've been family-owned and operated since 1970, and you will love dealing with the Green family and their winning team. Do what I did and check out Green & Sons located in Mount Sterling and Marysville or online at greenandsons.com for all your Kubota needs.
Once there was a man who couldn't stand.
A mom who couldn't wait.
A scientific community that said it couldn't be done.
And then you.
And then I.
And then we.
Brought neuromuscular disease into screaming color with the Muscular Dystrophy Association.
For 75 years, our voices have thundered through the halls of Congress.
We've willed the impossible into existence.
We've pushed the science,
raised the funds,
shifted the narrative,
and transformed the reality of life with neuromuscular diseases.
For 75 years, we've built communities together.
Established the field of neuromuscular medicine,
and made it thrive.
Call that a legacy.
Call it impact.
Call it momentum.
Just call it ours.
Because it's the generations of community heroes that give MDA the strength we have today.
And until neuromuscular disease is a thing of the past, you couldn't stop us if you tried.
Join us and celebrate 75 years of breakthroughs at MDA75.org.
Your child's oral health milestones matter. By age 1, see a pediatric dentist to establish good oral health habits. At 7, see an orthodontist to check your child's bite, teeth, and jaws. Around 15, visit an oral and maxillofacial surgeon to have your child's wisdom teeth examined. Remember, milestones met, healthy teeth set. Visit milestonesmet.org.
Hi, I'm Kim Holderness.
And I'm Penn Holderness. You don't have to have an amazing race to the doctor, but you should make time for routine cancer screenings.
I schedule my mammogram and other cancer screenings around my birthday and then treat myself to lunch.
I do too, because, of course, everyone likes lunch.
The C word can be scary, but routine screenings can detect cancer before symptoms appear.
And early detection equals better outcomes.
Go to preventcancer.org to find out which cancer screenings you need.
What would it take for my child to only miss half a day of school for treatment?
What would it take to fund a cure for childhood cancer?
It would take all of us to come together to support the research. Join us. Go to childrenscancer.org today.
Cancer screening can save your life. Begin cervical screening at age 25. At 45, colorectal and breast screening. At 50, discuss lung screening with a doctor. Find resources for free and low-cost screening at cancer.org/getscreened. This is a public service message from the American Cancer Society.
One man is a national champion, NFL veteran, and local business leader. The other man is Tito. This is Morning Juice.
Sponsored by Riverside Bank of Dublin.
Here's Bobby and Tito.
All right, Morning Juice. Bobby down south. Tito right here. Bodie right here. And also right here now, Bill Bender, Sporting News, joining us. Bill, LSU now has a job opening at the head coach position. Is it the most attractive opening right now in college football?
I would say so. The last three of the last four coaches have won a national championship there. The standards are high. You can attract a ton of NFL talent. There's a who's who of NFL guys from LSU in the league right now. But more difficult than it was, I think, 10 years ago because the SEC, the notion of parity. I was stunned that Texas A&M blew them out. It didn't surprise me they won, but the way that they beat them and a total second half meltdown. And Tito, I got to be honest, a little surprised that yesterday. I thought maybe BK would get through the season, but I mean, a $53 million buyout, this is the world we live in now.
And so part of that, Bill, was the fact that Brian Kelly apparently refused to make some coaching changes on the staff. And we've seen this happen in the NFL. Like, are you a believer? You hire a coach to do a job. Are you a believer in the AD now, or maybe you have a GM in the NFL that telling people how to dictate who to hire, like you may have a blind spot for something that isn't working, versus letting someone succeed or fail based upon how they think it should be run?
Well, you got to let the coaches coach, right? Coaches coach, players play, that whole cliche there. But pretty clear that, on Saturday night they had a special teams meltdown. Their offense has been an issue all year. Garrett Nussmeier hasn't been the first-round quarterback he was projected to be. They've had struggles running the football. They're just not the same team that they were even last year. So maybe Brian Kelly had a point. And then you have this standoff. You were reading stories yesterday that the governor of Louisiana was in on some of these discussions. That's how serious football is down there. That did make me laugh. But now the question becomes, LSU go after now? I don't know how many jobs Lane Kiffin can take, because it seems like everybody wants him, and there are several other names in that mix.
Bill Benner joins us, Sporting News Now. I saw the rankings came out. A&M got a couple of first-place votes. Alabama now 4th, Georgia 5. You've got the 2 Big Ten teams at the top, 3 SEC teams, and then a Big Ten team at 6, followed by another SEC team. If you had to pick right now, will the national champion come from the Big Ten or SEC?
Well, I mean, because Ohio State's the favorite and has looked a cut above, I would probably say Big Ten, which would be 3 in a row. Indiana, I don't want to say I don't know. At this point, you got to say, yes, they are a national championship contender. Look what they did to UCLA on Saturday. That's what programs do. They come out and take care of business in those games. And then that Alabama was dangerously close to losing at South Carolina Saturday. And it would have been interesting to see the spin on that from the SEC. You just can't go into South Carolina and be unprepared, that kind of thing. To Kalen DeBoer's credit, and Ty Simpson, who had not the best day, they made the plays when it mattered in the fourth quarter.
What do you make of this whole situation, Bill, at Texas? Sark, it leaks out, Saturday that his representatives are entertaining NFL offers should people make overtures to him. He would like to get there. Meanwhile, I'm watching them. They were down 17 points. Mississippi State blows an unbelievable lead and a chance to get their first SEC win. And Texas eventually, snatches that game away in overtime. But what is going on down there with Sark?
It's an odd season for them. And now they come into the Vanderbilt game this week, where you could make the argument that despite the fact that Texas is favored at home, that is a game Vanderbilt could win. We've done the Arch Manning thing all season, that the Steve Sarkisian potential for him leaving isn't unfathomable, not to me. I mean, he's been in the NFL with the Falcons. That's a high-pressure job at Texas where, maybe Steve Sarkisian's looking at it like, I saw what happened to James Franklin. You saw what happened to Brian Kelly. Brian Kelly's 34-14. It's not like he was terrible at LSU. What are they going to do to me if I go 8-4 this year and 7-5 next year for some reason? So, and some of these guys, maybe the NFL looks more attractive. Now, I do think Steve Sarkisian will stay at Texas. They've got the resources, the recruits. They were in the semifinals last year. They were probably the most talented team other than Ohio State last year.
Bill, when I look at if my eyesight is correct, and that's always in question, I see 3 Big Ten teams with 1 loss or fewer and 5 SEC teams with 1 loss or fewer. Do you think a 3-loss team in either of those conferences would be an at-large into the CFP?
That's a really good question. I would lean towards probably not, But I sketched out all the 2-loss teams, 1-loss teams in the group of 5, and that number comes up to 37. So when we say, the 12-team playoff creates all these opportunities, there are probably about 37 teams that are in the mix right now. That said, because of every week we have these upsets and it's been a crazy college football season, I think a 3-loss team might have a chance. And if they do, that would benefit the Big Ten, Tito, because if there's not a 3-loss team for football playoff, then the Big Ten is only going to get 3 teams in the playoff. It would probably be Ohio State, Oregon, and Indiana at that point. I'm just not sure another team in the conference is only going to have 2 losses. You would be looking at, Michigan would have to go undefeated. USC would have to go undefeated. USC, Nebraska is kind of an elimination game this weekend. That phrase is going to get tossed around a lot in November.
What do you make of Washington's victory over Illinois, Bill? I mean, does that put them in the conversation? I know they've got to beat Oregon in the final game of the season, which would be a nice data point should they be able to do that. But, I mean, are they a team that you think they have the schedule, but do they have the makeup to be able to get it done?
Possibly. I mean, that was an impressive win, especially coming off the Michigan game, but it brings up this whole one factor that, and I say it every week, the SEC doesn't have to deal with this NFL-like travel, where Washington can come across the country, get beat by Michigan, turn around, and then beat Illinois at home. And that time zone travel factor really matters. Now, if they got to 10-2 and beat Oregon, I think they would have a compelling case. They played very well, but, I mean, they did not blow them out. They could look at that. That was 1 loss. And then, Michigan pulled away in the second half. That was a tight game at halftime. So they would definitely have a case at 10-2, and I think Jed Fish has done a nice job there.
Bill, we'll get you out here on this one. Who do you think, if you had to wager a guess right now, who do you think the next coach at LSU is going to be?
That's a good one. If I were LSU AD, and I got to make a really good hire, I know Lane Kiffin's the popular choice, and Jimbo Fisher's an interesting choice, I would take a run at Joe Brady. I know he hasn't coached, but maybe they could recreate some of that magic from 2019. He's done a nice job as the offensive coordinator for the Bills. You would have to exercise some patience and give him a minute to get the right players in there. But, yeah.
What's
patience,
that, Bill?
Right? There is no such thing in college football, especially in these conferences. But I think he's a very interesting candidate based on, even though he's never been a head coach. And if you can't get him, you're going to have to find some money after you pay out that $53 million and maybe go try to get a Lane Kiffin, because I think that's what they want.
Bill, you've got Diego out there at Vanderbilt, and I know he's trying to get another year of eligibility after this year. He's trying to get a which would be like, I think, 7th year maybe? He's trying to get another year of eligibility. If he gets that year of eligibility, could you see LSU go after Clark Lee and Diego as a package deal?
I think Clark Lee, his stock will never be higher. It's never going to be higher than it is right now. They keep winning games. They've got a gritty defense. You've got I don't know how old Diego Pavia is. I'm going to have to go look that up after we get off the phone here.
Is it Danny Almonte? Is that who he is?
Doctor. He's Jess Settles.
Dr. Diego is going to lead this Vanderbilt team to the college football playoff if they beat Texas. I like Clark Lee as a candidate a lot. He's taken what he's done at Notre Dame. It's hard to pry guys away from their alma mater, though. So think about that with Clark Lee, Brett Key, some of the other, even Matt Rule with Penn. Well, it would be easier in theory with Matt Rule. But you get what I'm saying. These guys that coach at their school, it's harder to get away from them.
Every time you're saying about Notre Dame, by the way, just so you know, Brody smiles over there. So thank you for that, Bill. We appreciate that. We'll talk again next week, buddy.
Hey, anytime, guys. Have a great week. Thank you.
You bet. That was Bill Bender, Sporting News, joining us there. Coming up next, because I'm so long-winded, it might be a quick hitter. It might be quick hitters. We don't know. We'll do that next, though. Morning Juice.
Hey, guys. 13-year NFL veteran and Super Bowl champion Jason McCourty here.
And I'm an innovation ambassador at FAIR, Food Allergy and Research Education.
I would say the most challenging thing as a parent of a kid who has a food allergy is probably the ignorance that I myself had in the beginning. I didn't know what anaphylactic shock was. I didn't know the dangers, let alone the things that she needed to be able to have a normal life. When you go to drop your kid off, and every single time in the beginning, we'd have to go through everything she was allergic to. Preparation is everything. And me, for playing football for 13 years, it was all throughout the course of the week. It's getting ready for game day. When you're on the field, you're playing for your fans. At home, you're playing for your family. My playbook: read labels, keep it allergy friendly, and have an epinephrine nasal spray as a backup plan. Because when my family's safe from food allergens, that's the real victory. Visit foodallergy.org to learn more.
At National Geographic Society, we believe in the power of wonder. It drives us to explore, pushes us to see the world differently, moves us to action. And we believe that today, wonder is more essential than ever. Wow. That's why we're supporting a new generation of explorers to ask big questions, make breakthroughs, and bring the future closer. Wonder awaits. Will you join us? Visit natgeo.org/wonder.
Being diagnosed with leukemia, lymphoma, myeloma, or one of over 100 other types of blood cancer makes people want more time to do the things they love. That means more time to be artists, prom dates, world travelers, and moms. We are Blood Cancer United, the world's leading organization focused solely on blood cancer research, support, and advocacy. We do the most for more people with blood cancer, so people with blood cancer can do more of whatever they want. Blood Cancer United. Join us at bloodcancerunited.org.
People don't realize that glaucoma is one of the leading causes of blindness.
Because there are often no early symptoms, nearly half of those with glaucoma may not even know they have it until vision loss has occurred.
I was diagnosed with normal tension glaucoma in July of 2020. And what we found out at that point was I had already lost 40% of my sight. And you think it only affects people that are, 75 or older, retired, grandparents, and that's not the reality of it.
I didn't think at all glaucoma was going to affect me because I didn't know of anyone that had glaucoma, no one in my family. When you have glaucoma, you can't get back that sight that you lost. And so early detection and treatment is vitally, vitally important.
Don't miss life's most beautiful moments. Schedule an eye exam today.
National Glaucoma Research, a bright, focused foundation program, offers free resources and tips for healthy vision.
Learn how to protect your sight at stopglaucoma.org.
Bobby knows what it's like to be a winner. Tito knows what it's like to be thrown out of an all-you-can-eat buffet.
You're here 4 hours.
This is Morning Juice.
All right, Morning Juice. Look, we all love Bodie. Let's love him more.
Morning Juice presents Quick Hitters.
Sponsored by Dr. Mark Levy. If you're snoring and not sleeping, call Dr. Mark Levy today at 1-800-MORE-SLEEP.
Imagine a call from HR. The way I said that about love Bodie more because it sounded very sensuous there, Bob. But let's let Bodie take over. Good morning, Bodie. How
Morning,
are you?
guys. Happy Monday. We'll start here. Let me just go ahead and play it.
Thank you. Thank you. Well, this is a great way to get started, and I haven't even won all my games yet. It's a great night to be a Tiger. I'm here with my family, and we are so excited to be in the great state of Louisiana, but more importantly, to be with you great fans, and to be part of what is going to be an incredible ride here at Louisiana State University. And I know it's basketball, and this is an exciting basketball team, and we've got a nice start. But I can't wait to get into Tiger Stadium this fall.
You know what?
We hardly knew you, BK.
Here's the thing. When he goes, the LSU Tiger, he kind of like went into it. And I don't know if you've ever seen this. There's an episode of Friends with Ross Geller, who is a college professor during this time. And he said he just started speaking with a British accent to open class.
Why not?
He's like, and then I just had to maintain it. And I felt like BK kind of got into it, and then he's like, I can't hold this. Like,
break
I
character.
can't maintain. But I think he was trying to be like, I'll just go to the Southern accent and try to keep it, but I don't think he was well-versed enough to be able to handle it. He's a Irish guy from Boston, for heaven's sakes, not some dude who's hanging out with McConaughey in True Detective Season 1.
Yeah, just 34-14. You know, I say just 34-14. It wasn't a disaster down there. I understand that things started to go wrong this year, and even then they're 5-3. Their 3 losses are all to top 10 teams, 2 of them by 1 score. Yep. They obviously got blown out on Saturday night. What's that?
Big Game Brian.
Yeah, Big Game Brian. He's over. And all of a sudden, that Clemson top 10 win back in week 1 doesn't look so hot nowadays. Owed a little more than $54 million in the buyout. Their athletic director, Scott Woodward, said in a statement after the firing yesterday, we had high hopes that he would lead us to multiple SEC and national championships during his time in Baton Rouge. Ultimately, the success at the level that LSU demands simply did not materialize, and I made the decision to make a change after last night's game. We kind of talked about it at the beginning of the show, talked about it there with Bill Bender last segment. Guys, where do you think LSU goes from here? Am I crazy at all for thinking at least a little bit that the Penn State and LSU situations were maybe just a little short-sighted? I on one hand, I get it. Their expectation down there is to win titles, and for Penn State, I don't know if their expectation is necessarily to win national championships like it is at LSU, but their goal is to win Big Ten titles, win games in the playoffs, not just beat Boise State and SMU and whatnot. But dang, like the middle of year 4, now you got to pay Brian Kelly all this buyout money. I would have to imagine there's only so much money out there. Maybe I'm crazy for saying that. Maybe could that impact their NIL at all? Because now you have boosters paying for not only Kelly's buyout, but you're going to have to pay for a new coach also, and he's not going to be cheap.
No, he's not. But I think, though, Bodie, I believe that Penn State firing Franklin made it more possible, made it easier for LSU to move on from Kelly. I think that I'm not saying they're completely related, but I think that the fact that Penn State said, look at what Franklin did, and we're getting rid of him, LSU can say, wait, he did that there. This guy did this here. He's gone.
Let me also throw you one more. You know, a guy who's getting a lot of coaches fired this year is Curt Cignetti.
Oh, yes.
Because although I would consider myself, I feel like I'm pretty good about a fan as like preaching patience and whatnot. But if you're a fan of some of these other schools and you're like, really? That guy goes to Indiana and they literally are, 22-2 in 2 years, or a year and a half now, or whatever. And if you're LSU, you got to be thinking, like, why in the world can Indiana win all these games? And we, as the Tigers, Bob, can't get past at least some of these ranked wins. You're not going to go undefeated in every top 10 matchup, but you got to win a couple of them.
So, Curt Cignetti, with what they've done, being ranked second in the country, we mentioned this guy earlier with Bill, Clark Lee at Vanderbilt. People are like, how are you winning at Vanderbilt? Like, how are you winning at Indiana? We have all this money, all these resources, everything that we can throw at you, and all you're giving us is 5-3, without any big victories. And like you said, as soon as they ripped the Band-Aid off James Franklin, Florida looked and said, Bill, we got to get rid of Billy Napier. We're better than Penn State. LSU, well, listen, BK, I mean, there's a chance we may lose 4 games. And listen, like you said, Brian Kelly was never bad at LSU, but the last 3 coaches at LSU have all won national championships. 2 of them being Leslie Miles and Ed Orgeron. And Ed Orgeron, I mean, he may have been coaching the Southwest Louisiana Mud Dogs down there with Bobby Boucher before he got the job at LSU. All right? Like, I'm not sitting here telling you Ed Orgeron's a bad guy, but I'm going to tell you that I've met brighter football minds. And he won a national championship down there because your players are just so good, they can usually overcome your level of incompetence. Les Miles was trying to set offensive football backwards at LSU, and they still won a national championship.
Almost won, too.
They still were able to – that's my point. Like, they were able to beat Alabama 9-6 in a football game. Like, how? Unbelievable. So – it's it's a good job. It's probably the best because it's got the best in-state talent. And the last
and no competition in state.
Like, and no competition.
Not
in
much,
state.
I say yes.
And look at their last 3 coaches.
Yeah.
They've all won national titles. Brian Kelly was the first to break the chain.
Bob, I think these next 3 hires, the hires at LSU, Penn State, and Florida, are going to set the tone going forward for where we're going with buyouts. You know, like as far as like what kind of guaranteed money guys get. If it's astronomical through the roof, which it could very well be, that's going to change the way people like buyouts. They're going to keep being huge going forward. If these teams show any kind of discipline, any kind of restraint in the buyout number, that could also change things the other way.
I don't think there's going to be restraint. They just fired these coaches in the middle of the season to pay them $50.
I know.
What makes you think on the other side of that, like, yeah, you know what? We regret doing that. They may regret it. They're saying, hey, we want Lane Kiffin. Jimmy Sexton's going to say, well, here's the deal.
I know.
You know who else is going to give it to him? Florida, LSU, anybody.
Yeah.
Oh, crap. Okay. Well, let's do it. And we won't have to worry about it because we're going to win so many championships. The buyout's not going to come into play. No one ever looks at the downside of it.
As much as Cignetti, like to Bodie's point, has hurt these coaches and the why they got fired, it's also, this has been like every day Lane Kiffin wakes up and makes more money. Every day Lane Kiffin, all of a sudden, like every time this happens, it's like, oh, here's another million.
He's such a good candidate.
Yeah.
He's proven he can win in the SEC at a school that's good but not great. I mean, Ole Miss is not Alabama, right? And he either one of those schools, or even I guess you could throw Penn State in there for that matter. I don't think he's going to Penn State, but and I don't even know if he'll leave Ole Miss. But he's such a picture perfect candidate.
Yeah.
And granted, I would have thought Brian Kelly. I mean, he won at Notre Dame. You would have thought he would have taken that to LSU, and he obviously did not.
That's his family.
Yeah, he's going to be spending a lot more time with his family.
Yes, he is.
Real quick, guys, we'll kind of wrap it up here. Carp, LSU, Florida, Penn State. Is that the order of those 3 if you had to rank them?
I don't know if Florida's ahead of Penn State.
Okay.
I think, like I said, I just brought this up. If I want to tell you LSU's the best job because their last 3 coaches won national titles, what have the last 4 coaches of Florida done? You know?
Yeah, gotten fired.
I mean,
yeah,
they've had 4 10-win seasons in 15 years. So while Florida should check all the boxes to being better, they haven't been. So I don't know what the reason for that is.
All right, folks, coming up next, top of the hour, we got some we got a little college football news, but also it was a tough weekend this weekend. We'll talk about all of that next. This is Morning Juice.
Hey, Bobby Carpenter here for the Riverside Bank of Dublin Sports Money Report. An NBA Titan changes hands for a jaw-dropping $6.1 billion. The Boston Celtics, long a symbol of hardwood glory, have been sold to a group led by investor Bill Chisholm. The Celtics owners paid $360 million for the team in 2002 and are now getting a 17x return, a record-setting sale that proves the value of sports continues to skyrocket. Here's Chuck Moore, the CEO, and Travis Sanders, president of Riverside Bank of Dublin, on how they help local businesses with a return on their investment.
Thanks, Bobby. We truly value our partners in this community and work with them side by side to help maximize their return on investment. We live and work in Central Ohio. We want to see it flourish, just like all of you.
Exactly, Chuck. Our partners come to us and stay with us because of our dedication to helping them grow and the amazing products we offer. Our experienced bankers and our local processing and underwriting will help you get things done faster, allowing you to seize opportunities as they come up.
Tune in every day for the Riverside Bank of Dublin Sports Money Report. Visit their office at 6300 France Road in Dublin or online at riverside.bank.
Member FDIC, equal housing lender.
Hey, Buckeye fans. As the official wing sponsor of Ohio State Athletics, Roosters is kicking off an incredible giveaway you won't want to miss. This football season, we're giving away 12 ultimate Buckeye experiences. 3 drawings, 12 winners with prizes including tickets, sideline passes, and 3 trips to a Buckeye first-round postseason game. Go to roosterswings.com to register and see all the details. 3 drawings, 12 amazing prizes. Register today and every day. Roosters, a fun, casual joint.
More and more these days, people who are in pain are trying to take control of their health. They want to look beyond the traditional medicine of going to just a normal doctor. Hey, it's Bobby Carpenter. People just like you and me are finding lasting relief without steroids, medication, surgery, right here in Columbus, Ohio at QC Kinetics. You'll be treated by the highly regarded orthopedic surgeon, Dr. Ray Tesner, founder of Grant Sports Medicine. Here's how it works. Your blood contains many tiny but mighty healing tools. At QC Kinetics, Dr. Tesner and his team will get to the root of where your pain stems from, right down to the cells that are involved. By putting these natural elements to work, your body, it can revitalize your joints, literally using your own body's biologics to heal you. It's a simple injection, not a hospital stay, no drugs. It's fast, all natural, and there's no downtime. So if it's knees, backs, hips, whatever it may be, give QC Kinetics a call for your free consultation. 380-208-4544, 380-208-4544, qckinetics.com/Columbus.
James Laurinaitis here for my guys at Green & Sons, the premier Kubota dealership in Central Ohio. Green & Sons has all the Kubotas you need to tackle your land and come out a winner. They have zero-turn skid steers, tractors from 18 to 171 horsepower, and also utility vehicles. My favorite is my RTV Sidekick. The best thing about Green & Sons is they've been family-owned and operated since 1970, and you will love dealing with the Green family and their winning team. Do what I did and check out Green & Sons located in Mount Sterling and Marysville, or online at greenandsons.com for all your Kubota needs.
Proud to be your go-to sports addiction.
WBNS, WBNS FM, HD3 Columbus.
The Fan 3, Ohio sports destination. Attack and dominate. You're locked into Morning Juice.
Sponsored by Riverside Bank of Dublin.
Here's Bobby and Tito.
Morning Juice. Bob, I thought about you yesterday, my friend, and I'm not sure when you got the news about the passing of your good friend and former teammate Nick Mangold, but passed away at the far too young age of 41. I know we talked about a couple weeks ago his need for a kidney, and I was shocked by this news. I'm not sure what you want to talk about or how you want to say it, but I want to give you the floor because I know you guys were very close.
Yeah. It was a really long day yesterday, and it's going to be a long and hard week. And just kind of how the news broke, and I had talked to Nick last week about doing some stuff and coming on the show and talking more about this and in pursuit of his kidney. And last week, Wednesday, and he was like, "Yeah, I've got dialysis today. Well, let's try to do it next week." And that was all going to be good. And there was nothing, to my knowledge and to people that I've talked to who had spoken with him heading into the weekend, that there was anything urgent about his need for a kidney other than the general urgency that you would have. But Nick was on dialysis. He was in good spirits. It's a suboptimal situation for anybody that's been on dialysis and been a part of that. And I think people understand that and know that if you're going through it, but it wasn't something that wasn't manageable. And, he had gone down the line, after speaking with some people, I think they had some good prospects for potential donors. When he announced that he needed a kidney, there was a lot of people that stepped up and were going to be tested. I think he even had someone, in his family that they were working with that they thought, could have been an answer to. We're hopeful that was going to be the case here in the next, month or so, that they would know and be able to maybe do something about that. And watching my wife get a call and seeing the emotion on her face as we were walking out of church yesterday. And I was getting ready to go home, and we had a bunch of stuff on the schedule, and I had to get home and get packed to fly down here to Orlando to do the Touchdown Club and speak here. And my first inclination was I thought something had happened to one of our parents. And she tells me that Nick had passed away. And I was like, "Nick who?" That wasn't even a thought in my mind. And there wasn't even a thought in my mind that was a possibility. And I guess it goes to think that you wish you just had more time, and you thought you had more time. And understanding that the heartbreak that his wife and kids are going to be going through, and everything that they're going to be experiencing over the next coming week and then leading into months and years of them growing up without their father is it's a sobering prospect. And talking with some of my teammates yesterday and trying to figure out how we're going to, what the funeral arrangements are going to be and what that's going to look like, and not even understanding how that's getting planned with all of this. And I can't even imagine trying to go through that with what that looks like. But I watched Grown Ups with my kids on Thursday night, and Caleb, my youngest son, loves Adam Sandler and Farley and that early 90s SNL crew. So he was really excited to share that with me and wanted me to watch it. I had never seen it before. And I was watching it, and then I started thinking on Sunday after seeing that. And those movies I always enjoy. They're nostalgic, and it's fun for me to explain to my son. He's like, these guys do all these movies together. I'm like, because they're friends. And they're talented, but they're friends, and this is what they like to do. And hopefully they can bring some enjoyment and entertainment to other people. And it's also just sometimes it just, when you watch that and you think, like, that's going to be me with all of my friends, and we'll get a chance to go to the reunions together and watch our kids grow up together. And seeing each other, maybe not all that as often as we should, but the best part about Nick is he was a guy, and I tried to articulate this to people, that Nick was the guy that was like the moving train. You could talk to him every day. You could talk to him once a year, but within 2 minutes you're on the train and it's going, and you're having a good time. And it's the same conversation that you've had for the last 20 years, 25 years. And I'm going to miss my friend. And it's really tough to say that and to talk to our former coaches yesterday and to talk to them about this and try to let your other friends and people know about it. All of it is hard. And then to be flying and doing this was even worse, because people probably thought I was a lunatic on the plane. So it's just what was going through my head and trying to understand and realize what was going on and to process a lot of that emotionally. And the good news was I thought I had no more tears left in me by the evening, and so I could sit back and watch a football game and relax. It was great to watch the Jets get their first win.
And ran the ball well, Bob. That was, like, I thought about that. It wasn't lost on me that they had their best running game of the year.
They ran the ball well, and it happened in Cincinnati, which is an hour away from where Nick grew up.
Right.
And I'm like that. And to hear Aaron Glenn address it and talk about it, and he said he never coached him, but he was in the organization when he was there, and Aaron was playing. His last year was our first year in the league. And, so knowing him and knowing what he was about. But, like, Nick was a hugger, man. He was a great guy. He's someone that always made you feel warm and welcome. And just talking to the coaches and everybody and trying to process all of that. And then last night, our friend Albert Breer reached out to me. He's like, "Hey, would you want to write a couple of paragraphs about Nick?"
Knowing you, it's not a couple paragraphs.
Well, I was like, I don't even know what to say. Like, I was talking to my wife. I don't even know where to begin, and to try to do this justice. And I was doing that during the second half of the game last night, and just trying to. I guess what you're doing in that is everybody got a chance to see Nick from afar, and some people were privileged enough to get to meet him and knowing just his warmth and everything that he was about. And he was kind of the everyman, and to try to connect that to people and have them understand and get a taste of what you got to experience with him on a daily basis when you were around him. Like that, I think, is the goal of it. And So the playing attributes are one thing, and you dress Nick up in this 6'4", 325-pound frame and the long hair, and the Viking beard and everything. And then you have a guy that was a hugger, that was, like a teddy bear, who was incredibly smart, quick-witted. I always, he was the bartender from Piano Man. He's quick with a joke or to light up your smoke. He was a guy that always had a conversation about anything. He was incredibly smart and so funny. And it was awesome. Just as you get older, you don't get to see people as much. But any time that I went to New York and New Jersey, I would always shoot a text out to Nick. And it was, hey, buddy, in town. If you're around, let's hang out. Whether that's dinner, whether that's drinks, whatever that may be. But I would love to see you. And generally, it's like, well, sometimes he had kid stuff or whatever. But generally, he was always there. And we'd go out and have a great night together. And they'd be like, great time, Bob. Give me a hug and you just turn around and walk off. And that's who he was.
So Albert reached out to you.
Jeff.
Albert reached out to you for a couple of paragraphs. And in the chat today, there's people that are expressing their condolences and their thoughts and prayers for the Mangold family and for yourself. I never met Nick Mangold. Many of us in the chat never met him either. And like our exposure to Nick Mangold is what we saw in between the lines. I'm curious if you feel a responsibility to be that go-between, to let, because you're telling me, you're talking about Nick and what a man he was and all that stuff. I got to believe, Bobby, and I'm not saying it's a burden for you, but like for a lot of the people here on the radio station, and like when you mentioned Breer and all of that, and the fans here in the chat and all these people, like you're our connection to Nick Mangold, and I appreciate your sharing these personal thoughts about him, but like I feel like that's an important role you play. I don't know if you sense it or not, if you feel it, or if it's responsibility is the wrong word, and a burden's the wrong word. But do you feel like it's probably almost a privilege for you, right?
Well, I think I wouldn't call it a burden, maybe responsibility, an obligation to my friend to remember him the right way and to make sure that everybody gets, like I said, a window into what I got to experience with him. And so all I can give you is a trailer. I can't give you the whole movie. Like there's no way to do that. And so I try to give you the trailer into his existence of what he was to Ohio State, what he was to the New York Jets, why, it's funny. People wanted him to get into TV. I had friends at ESPN. They were big Jets fans. Like, you should get Nick to come up here. And Nick's like, yeah, I'm good. I'm like he doesn't want to do it. Like, no. And Nick's like unrepentant about it either. He's like, I'm good. I don't care. And he was good with that. But then he would go and he had his barbecue sauce and he was doing the tailgating stuff. He would just walk around the tailgates at Jets games and like they would film it and he'd pop in. And like I don't think any of that was like pre-scripted or anything. Like, it was not manufactured. Like that's who he was. And I saw this clip by the Post, Instagram post by the New York Post today. It was like Nick Mangold in pictures. And they had a picture of his family, and they had a picture of him playing, and some stuff in college. But they had a picture of him when I think I'm trying to think what hockey game it was. But you can see him like screaming. He's sitting behind the opposing coaches and team's bench, and he's like screaming through the plexiglass, standing up. And like that was him, man. He was just he was your normal guy, and like your normal dude. And he was the everyman. A kid. He married his high school sweetheart from Kettering Alter, or Jonathan Alter. He lived in Centerville. He played football with AJ growing up. His wife, girlfriend at the time, Jenny, she goes to Ohio University. He goes to Ohio State, and I didn't really get the full gravity of it. And I guess when you're young, you don't really understand it all. When they got married, which their wedding, it lives in infamy in like circles, our friend circles, because we all got overserved and our wives were furious at us during it. And so we laugh. I'm like, man, well, there's pictures. I don't know that they're out there. Well, I didn't take any. This
Okay.
was like in 2008, so we didn't have like iPhones.
Disposable cameras, yes.
But yeah, there's probably stuff floating around there, and like some of the bridesmaids like throwing up all over the bathroom. I mean,
Fair.
it was just remarkable. And Schleigs was there. His wife was mad at him. He was. He almost threw up on me. I mean, it was unreal. But they get married, and there's certain songs that make me think of Nick, and it's interesting. "Faithfully" by Journey is one of them, because that was the song that him and his wife danced to at their wedding. And I never really probably listened to the words of it that closely, because we would all make fun of each other of who picked the corniest song to dance to, and really it's more your wife's picking it than you anyway. Come on, man, like we love Journey and Faithfully, but the more I listened to it yesterday, it made me think of Nick, just of how like they didn't go to college together, and so they were always driving back and forth. And I was part of some of those drives, because a lot of my friends went to Ohio University, and I'd go down there with them, and we'd hang out, and he'd go see his wife or girlfriend, and I'd go hang out with my buddies, meet up at a bar, we'd drive back together for Halloweens and different things. And just, that was always it. And listening to the lyrics of it yesterday, I was like, that was his college. And that was his college with his wife. And there are 4 children now together, and some of the trouble that we got into together. And I don't know, there's probably a statute of limitations on this. And it's funny, people would always ask.
Don't vacate wins. Don't vacate wins.
There's no win vacation going on. But, there was one time we went down to Ohio University, and we went down for Halloween. And I don't know if Nick had never been down there before, but I went in high school because we were in Lancaster. So a lot of people would go down, see your friends, and hang out. And then I knew like traffic getting out of Athens after Halloween is like Ohio State game day, immediately post traffic, like post game. And so I would always get up and like, dude, I'm out of there by 10, because we would have meetings the next day. And I remember I'm like, hey, Nick, dude, I'm getting out of here. Like, you ready to go? He's like, I'm good, bro. Jenny and I are going to hang out a little bit. I'm like, we got to be back by like 2 or something, or 1. He's like, no, we're going to get brunch and then get out of there. I remember getting there. Like, I pull in, whatever, I work out. And AJ's like, where's Nick? I'm like, he said he was going to hang out with Jenny. She was going to drive him back. And it was going to be good. And I remember sitting there and like, we're getting close to the start of the meeting. No Nick. And I'm like, oh gosh. And I was like, hey, Bowles. He's like, listen, Nick called. We talked. There's a lot of traffic. There's some wrecks. And I was like, damn it, Nick, I told you to get out of here. But he wanted to hang out with his girlfriend, who later became his wife. And sitting there, like, people were looking, and we were, I think, we were old enough that we were starting, so at least sophomores, maybe juniors. And I think we were sophomores. We wouldn't have been juniors. Actually, we were juniors, I think, at this time. The previous year, there was something else that happened. But, him being late to that meeting because he wanted to spend some time, and, like, Tress not happy, and him having to, like, get up and run and do some different stuff and things like that. But that was – it was him. I'm like, I'm good, buddy. I'm like, all right, Nick. Like, I'm going to get that was my friend warning right now, telling you this might not be a good idea. But, you're going to do what you want to do, and you're a grown man. But just being a part of those, and the way that it worked out with those two, and then him going to New York, getting drafted there, having Brett Favre, he had they had, who was their quarterback at first, from Marshall Pennington, and then they ended up bringing in Favre, and then ironically I was texting Sanchez yesterday, and I'm like. Because I remember, like, when they drafted Nick, I was up in New York that first year. I was like, hey, let's go out. And he goes, you care if I bring Mark? I'm like, no, dude, bring him. And Mark and his brother come out, and, like, we have a great time, a lot of fun. And I'm thinking, like, yeah. And I remember when he had Favre, I was like, well, he left from AJ, went to you, and now, and I guess Favre had a hard time taking snaps from him at first. And so they fumbled a lot of snaps, and guys told us that Eric Mangini was their head coach, put together a montage of them fumbling all the snaps and then underlaid it to Hit Me Baby One More Time by Britney Spears. And it's them like fumbling snaps and then having to run around the field like all of this during training camp. And, I'm like, dude, and that it was surreal because we grew up watching Brett. And then now to see Nick, who was a 7-time Pro Bowler, 2-time first-team All-Pro, second-team All-Pro, who, I made the joke last week with him about this. I was like, Nick, well, if you don't get a kidney, you'll get in the Hall of Fame because once you die, you're way better than you ever were when you played. And like that was meant to be like, don't go dying on me, buddy.
Sure.
Like, and then, geez, he beats, man. It's too much.
Well,
he's a great player and a great guy, and he's someone that I don't know anybody who didn't like Nick. He may not have been your favorite person, but he's an impossible guy not to like.
Honestly, Bob, we hadn't talked before the show today. I didn't know if you'd be here or not, and I wouldn't have blamed you 1 minute at all if you would have said I'm not doing the show today.
No.
But I know you got you told me to shut up last time I said this about you, but I know that the listeners and I appreciate your vulnerability and your openness and your transparency and all this. I know this is not easy for you, but the people in the chat, the listeners, it's been and I'm sure you've seen them. You haven't responded, and I don't expect you to respond. I'm saying there's a montage of messages on here with people. I know.
I'll get into it.
I want to know. So yeah, you obviously you're seeing those, but there is such an outpouring of affection for Nick, for Nick's family, for you, and I can't imagine what it felt like for you, and the fact you're even doing this now is pretty impressive, Bob. But I think you did a fantastic job of, and it's something we can talk about it anytime that you want to talk about. I'm sure we'll talk about it with Schlegs tomorrow on the Schlegs Day. I'm sure it'll come up again. But very sorry for your loss, Bob, and thank you for giving all of us a peek into what kind of person Nick Mangold was.
The best, and I don't know, just texted some of the people over at the Woody Hayes on that morning. I mean, Hartline and James played with him, and Devin Joy. We were on the same team together, and how just so they knew, and they could inform the team. I mean, he's a big part of Ohio State. I don't know if they'll do something for him on Saturday. I haven't talked to Ross about that. A moment of silence or whatever, but that'll be tough. That'll be really hard to see that. There's not too many times I've cried in that stadium, but that'll happen. Just knowing that this Saturday will be all of that, and a guy who meant so much to this university and so many people and touched so many people in a positive way.
I'm not going to tease anything, folks. Come back. Morning Juice.
My mom is a veteran, and she was injured in the line of duty.
I hurt my leg in a training accident when she was only 2 years old.
She had 7 different surgeries over the span of 9 years, and there were tons of complications.
I couldn't be the mom my kids needed me to be.
She missed so much.
After my last surgery, I got an infection so bad I thought it was going to kill me.
I told her she couldn't leave me yet. There was still so much she had to see. I hadn't even graduated.
I'm doing much better now. I may have lost my leg, but I've gained so much. I'm an active part of my kids' lives.
She can kick a mean soccer ball.
DAV's been there for me and my family. Through thick and thin, they've had our back.
Every year, DAV helps more than 1 million veterans like Sandy get the health and disability benefits they've earned, so they can achieve victories great and small.
My victory is getting my life back. I got my joy back.
We got our mom back, thanks to DAV.
Support more victories for veterans. Go to DAV.org.
Wildlife around the globe needs help. And when you help protect them, you become a friend of the San Diego Zoo Wildlife Alliance.
Thank you for being a friend.
Travel down the road and back again.
Your heart is true, you're a pal and a confidant.
Thank you for helping protect wildlife around the globe. Without you, there's no them. Learn more at sdzwa.org/friend.
I always tell people I was the luckiest guy in the world. I wanted to be an Army man or a fireman, and I got to do both. As a firefighter, my job was about saving lives. I never thought one day I would be fighting for mine.
After spending his career answering the call to save others, Ken was diagnosed with ALS. Now he's facing his biggest battle, for more time. For 70 years, Muscular Dystrophy Association has been answering the call to help people live longer and more independent lives.
MDA means to me hope.
MDA is leading the way for people living with ALS, muscular dystrophy, and other neuromuscular diseases by accelerating research, advancing care, and advocating to empower families like Ken's.
I wouldn't be living as good of a life with ALS if it wasn't for MDA. MDA is helping people live stronger and love longer. Learn more at mda.org today.
Every child deserves a safe, loving, and permanent home. Help the Dave Thomas Foundation for Adoption find families for children who've lingered in foster care the longest. Learn more at davethomasfoundation.org.
Since 2003, Wounded Warrior Project has helped post-9/11 veterans adjust back to civilian life. Through specialized programs, they begin healing their bodies and minds while regaining a sense of camaraderie. Learn more at woundedwarriorproject.org/possible.
Attack and dominate. You're locked into Morning Juice.
Sponsored by Riverside Bank of Dublin.
Here's Bobby and Tito.
All right. I don't know what the hell to do now, Bob. I will say this. I just put this in the chat, or about to put it in the chat about this Sam. I want you to know, look, and because people talk about the, Buckeye Nation, Buckeye fans and all that. And the fact that I never met Nick, I see how you're reacting to it. It's affecting me. It's affecting the listeners, people who never met Nick. Goes to show you the power of what Ohio State means to people. The fact that this is somebody who nobody in this chat, I don't think, maybe a few, but no one's met him. And the fact we are all affected by this way, even before you started talking, we were all affected by it, goes to speak about the passion and the way we all connect together as Buckeye fans. We aren't players. And we're still on the other side of the glass. And we're sitting here still having these reactions, Bob. Says a lot about the power of Ohio State and Ohio State football.
It does. And the reach that it has, and the passion behind it, the reach that's there and the passion. And I also think this, one of the things that it makes and embodies Ohio State and makes it as awesome as it is the fans are one side of this, the students, the alumni, everybody that loves Ohio State. And the other side of that is the players. And Nick's ability, and not just Nick, but I think we have great young men at Ohio State now. I think we've had great young men at Ohio State for a long time. And a lot of that is the function of the coaches who recruit and develop those young men. But allowing them to be as connected and understanding that they can reach out and how they connect with people and connect with Buckeye Nation and reach through that medium that is there to help make those relationships thicker and fuller. And that's why, there are people that would go up to Nick and have a conversation with him. That's why he'd walk around the tailgate. He'd talk to anybody. And that's also what gives it that is there's all these people that have their own stories about him, and they've got their stories about a number of players. And that's what has made the connectivity so strong is there's a desire for people on one side of it to be a part of it and to be a fan of it, and the desire for the people on the other side to reach out and connect and to make sure that the support is appreciated and that it humanizes everything. And there's the relationship that goes back and forth. And that's one of the things that I find wholly unique about Ohio State. And one of the things that Nick was the best at. We go to Vegas in 2004. Nick's birthday, AJ's birthday is January 6th. Known insurrectionist, AJ Hawk. Everybody knows about that. And that was a big deal for him. Well, Nick's birthday is literally 1 week later. It's January 13th. So our junior year, after we all turned 21, Nick was the last one of us. We decided we're going to go to Vegas for a weekend. Maybe we went like Thursday to Sunday, sometime in January. Like it was, I'll tell you this, it was like right after Nick's birthday, because it was the week that all of us would have had to decide if we wanted to put our names in early for the NFL draft. And so, I think I was the only one that like actually had an actual thought about that. No one else was even thinking that was the case. But we don't have any money. Dude, I brought like $600 there, hoping that I would leave with more. I left with none, and I was like worried about how I was going to eat for the next 2 weeks, 3 weeks, because that was like some of my money that I brought it all just in case, and then I ended up losing it all just in case, and I had to like go home to get food from my parents' house to be able to eat for like the next 2 weeks. But so we're and by the way, like we're at these clubs, like we don't have any money, we can't get in there, and there's one bar we're going to get into. I forget where it was. We're standing in line like everybody else, like we're nobody special, except we're big dudes with long hair. And Charles Bentley comes walking by, and he was like, "Hey, Buckeyes," like whatever. He's like, "Come on!" Like we start talking. He's like, "Come on with me." And so he's like, goes to the front line. He goes, "Listen, don't be pulling out your Buckeye ID. That ain't gonna get you up to the top." He's like, "That ain't doing anything for you here," like jokingly. So he takes us up, and we hang out, and he bought his drinks, and we hung out that night. So that was one night. And then the next night, because everybody else was just hanging out, Nick and I were like, "Hey, let's go do something fun." And then so the next night, I think, we go to some other place. And we get in, we wait in line, get in there, and do drinks in Vegas. I mean, we're in college. You're used to spending like $1 on a beer.
If that.
They're $10.
Right.
Yeah, they're like $10. I'm like, my goodness. I mean, I know we drank a lot before we came here to make sure that we were in a good place financially and hydration-wise. But then we waited in line, burned all that off. So we're getting in there. I'm like, man, these drinks are expensive. And like Nick had kind of disappeared. And I'm like walking around, and then I see him, and he's on the other side of a velvet rope in the cabanas. And I was like, hey, he's like, "Hey, Bob, come over here." And he's like, "Why don't you meet my friend?" And he's like, "Hey, this is the guy I was telling." He starts talking, and I was like, "Hey, who are these people, Nick?" And he's like, "Oh, these guys play Major League Baseball for wherever." And they're like, they're done. Like, "And how did you start?" He's like, "I just started talking to him. Next thing you know, we got to talk my way in here. And next thing you know, we're pouring drinks out of their cooler right there in the middle." And I was like, "This is great. How did you finagle this?" Somehow you talked your way back in there, talked to these guys. And next thing you know, there's like 8 seats in there, and we're occupying 2 of them. And like 1 or 2 of their buddies are standing up. Like it was unreal. But he just had a way with people and an ability to connect and go up to anybody and just start talking to them, find some commonality because he was so smart, and relate to them. And next thing you know, they're like best friends. And Nick's feeling so emboldened that he can even ask him for favors. Like it's truly amazing.
That's an amazing trait, Bob. Like that underrated trait is being able to do something like that. Like it'll endear you to
Especially
people
when you don't have any money.
Even in Vegas, nonetheless. Like in Vegas, everyone's a showman, but to be able to stand out that way and do that in Vegas is even more impressive. But the fact, if you could do that in life, that it'll open doors for you that won't be open for anybody else.
It was a superpower, man. Yeah. It was like that's what you go talk to guys, and we play people and like guys that play with the Jets, and I always ask him, "Oh, my boy Nick, like Nick's the best," like, and you'd have conversations. They start telling you their stories about him and just how great it was and everything, and that was the best part of him.
Rivers Middle Half says your Nick voice has him laughing. I guess I don't remember hearing much of Nick's voice now that I'm thinking about it.
It's funny because we always used to say that Jim Bowman had kind of like a British. He kind of talked like Sean Connery, and he's like, "Hey, Bob, like, how you doing?" And had kind of like a deeper, but there was a British, like almost a British accent to it. And then Nick, we kind of absorbed some of that. He was like, "Hey, it's the big guy," and like coming on up, and he always give you a hug. But that was just him. I don't know. It's probably a terrible impersonation, but it's all I got.
That's okay. You got to work on your Corso, too, because I know that we've got the, like I say, Kathy in the chat wanted you to work on that one as well. Your Holtz obviously is off the chain. But anyway, can I say off the chain, Bodie? Am I too old to say off the chain, or can I say it?
I think that's fair. I think you're good.
I don't think anybody under the age of 30 knows what off the chain is.
Then I'm fitting right. You know what? That's good then. It happens on Twitter, by the way. If you want to follow me there, too, for more insight and things like that I put out there, witty things that I put out there. Off the chain is one of them there, Bob. So you're speaking down there today?
Yeah, tonight they have, like every other Monday, they have their meetings and talk about the state of college football, share some stories. It's a lot of Florida fans, obviously, as we're right here in Florida, and they're going to probably get mad at me when I ask them, when I tell them to rank the jobs, and I'm probably say LSU, Penn State, Florida, and they'll be like, why we have all these resources and everything else. And this was Jacob Hester's point. Wednesday, we did our
Former
6
Gator.
jobs that you would.
Was he Gator?
Well, no, Jacob
LSU
Hester's
Tiger.
a Tiger.
Oh, Tiger, that's
He's
right.
a Tiger. And he said, he just put an arbitrary number. What are the 6 jobs? Not 5, not 8, not 4, 6 jobs that you would leave for if someone called, regardless of where you're at, unless you're at maybe one of the other 6 jobs. He's like, all right, Ohio State, you've got Bama, you've got Georgia. Was Oregon, like we're trying to talk to, like, was Oregon on that list? Is Texas on there? Michigan, where do they come in to play? Notre Dame, he had Notre Dame, Bodie, on there, so you could put that little feather in your cap with that. And I said Florida, and he goes, and Florida, he didn't have Texas on there either. He goes, last time they won anything was 15 years ago. And he's like, Texas at least has played and been like in the mix the last couple. But he goes, if you tell me you have all these resources and that you have all this stuff, then why don't all your coaches win? He's like, you've had 3 or 4 ways. Like, look at LSU's. They had 3 coaches in a row that won national championships. Ohio State, 3 coaches in a row that have won titles. And he's like, Notre Dame now, I think going from Brian Kelly to Marcus, like they're in that position now because you're always taking that call just because of the allure and everything that they could provide. And now they're in a much better place, and probably the current landscape is even better situated for them to be successful. But, I'm going to lay that out for Florida. Not that I don't think it's a great job. I'm trying to figure out, and I would like people here to maybe educate me on it. If it's so good, why was it 15 years ago, Urban Meyer, the last time it was good? I don't know. You've got to tell me that, because I'm at a loss for trying to figure out that connection of where that disconnect is.
I will tell you, Bob, what I would open up with them when you're talking is just tell people the last time Florida was relevant, things were off the chain. Then you can tie it all back to me on this and my off the chain comment now, because that makes the most sense now. It was 15 years ago when you could say off the chain. Bodie's concerned about LSU coming out and getting Marcus Freeman, another Notre Dame coach, right, Bodie?
Why even put that into the atmosphere, Tito? We just don't need that. We're going to be Boston College Saturday.
Bobby, weird question. Because you're Bobby, I know your answer. Did Wisconsin win this weekend? Was it a victory for Luke Fickell this weekend?
Here's the thing. Just like where BK, you're probably not getting fired as long as you don't get smoked.
Right.
I think when you're Fick, there are no moral victories. Like, I don't know where the moral. It's like, you've got wins, losses, ties. I don't know if you have like another column out there for the moral victory. But I do think that if you're him, like, you're grasping on something that you can look at where people can say, like, there was some progress. And the fact that you played Oregon, now that offense really didn't look like it was progressing all that much, but it did ultimately look pretty good from a standpoint of defensively, you played a really good team. And I think there's a lot of respect for Oregon too, or Fick, so people don't try to go crazy on them. But they look good. Like they
better than the last 2 weeks.
100%.
Yeah.
And so I think that that's a positive thing for them. When it's all about expectations, you don't get fired in football Thitoff for wins and losses at high level programs. You get fired for failing to meet expectations. And the fact that I think everybody went into that game thinking that they were going to get boat raced and just destroyed, and that they didn't, you leave feeling a little bit better. Like, hey, it's not that bad. It's a little bad. I don't know if you've ever Yeah, like not totally terrible. I always joke with the Chris Farley and the Tommy Boy with Dan Aykroyd, the Tire King, like he's trying to buy the store. He seems like a nice guy. Like that's kind of what it is. Like, it could have been worse.
I just want you to know about every time someone says boat raced because of wedding crashers, all I can think of is motorboat. When you say boat raced, I think motorboat. And it's in my mind, so I always have to pause when someone says someone got boat raced because I think of something else.
They built for speed or comfort.
Exactly. I know.
The old sailor she's still in the house. Hey, do you need a bank that truly values local business in this town and an opportunity to work alongside them as partners? Whether you're a small business or a large operation, Riverside Bank of Dublin has the right tools for the job. Riverside Bank of Dublin has the experience of working right here locally in Central Ohio. They understand the business climate in our area and will help you reach your goals. Whether you need an SBA loan to get it off the ground, a line of credit to keep your business running smoothly, or equipment financing to get your business up to scale, Riverside Bank, they'll tailor a solution that fits your needs. Visit them at riverside.bank or stop in to get to know them in person at 6300 France Road. Riverside Bank of Dublin, member FDIC, equal housing lender.
Maybe if you need a motorboat, you go see Riverside Bank, you old sailor, you. Coming up next, we'll tell you what's got us juice, morning juice.
In honor of all those we've lost to cancer and those still fighting and thriving, like basketball analyst and cancer champion Dick Vitale.
I want to beat cancer. I'm going to beat it. That's no doubt in my mind. I'm going to win this battle.
Defeating cancer will take all of us. Join our team to help fund game-changing research that saves lives. At the V Foundation, V is for victory over cancer. V is for victory over the odds. V is for victory over health disparities, victory over setbacks, victory over the unknown. V is for victory over giving up.
Don't give up. Don't ever give up.
Donate to the V Foundation to join our team and help save lives.
Cancer can take away all my physical abilities. It cannot touch my mind, it cannot touch my heart, and it cannot touch my soul.
100% of donations fund game-changing cancer research. Donate now to the V Foundation at v.org.
Hi, this is Martina McBride. With online news, social media, and texting available 24/7, the world seems to be spinning faster and faster every day. And it can be overwhelming. Sometimes we just need to unplug and take a break from our electronic devices. It can help reduce stress and allow us to reflect on the things that are really important in our lives.
This message brought to you courtesy of the United States Air Force.
When it comes to a gun suicide attempt, all it takes is a moment.
Heather and I had an argument just like any other couple. I was lost. I had snapped. I had a gun and I was going to take my own life. Heather helped me realize that there was still a life to live for the better of myself, my family. My weapon is now safely put away.
A moment of crisis can happen to anyone. Store your guns, locked, unloaded, and away from ammo. Hear more safe stories at endfamilyfire.org. Brought to you by Brady and the Ad Council.
When it comes to prostate cancer, go to pcf.org for the help you need to navigate this disease and make the right decisions for yourself. Go to pcf.org today.
Lexi spent more than 6 years in foster care.
Before I was adopted, I felt alone.
With help from the Dave Thomas Foundation for Adoption, Lexi now has a forever family and the foundation for a bright future.
Adoption changed me for the better. I feel like I can be whoever I want to be.
You can help find permanent homes for children still lingering in foster care. Learn more at davethomasfoundation.org.
Day one, the hardest day. The day you hear,
"This is a type of blood cancer."
At the Leukemia and Lymphoma Society, we are here to help you move past day one. To learn more and get help on any day, visit LLS.org or call 1-800-955-4572.
Bobby Carpenter, husband, father, Buckeye. Jeff Thitoff, husband, father, idiot. This is Morning Juice.
Final segment of the program. Don't forget tomorrow, folks. We'll have Schlegs in here. On here. Shouldn't say in here. That's being a bit presumptuous. He'll be on here with us tomorrow, though. Let's tell people what's got us juiced.
What's got you juiced?
Sponsored by Billiards Plus. Find your next grill and everything you need for the master griller. Billiards Plus on Dublin Center Drive in Dublin.
Bob, I'm spent. I don't know how you're still doing this after the roller coaster you've been on the last 24 hours or so, and I So just tell people what's got you juiced. You're first. Come on.
Yeah, what's got me juiced? As I pulled up the chat, was looking through everything, and just appreciate all the support, obviously, from Buckeye Nation and all of the people out there that Nick touched, and to see the support for him and his family. And really all that started a couple of weeks ago when he talked about his need for a kidney, and how everybody, so many people responded to trying to help out and to do whatever they could for him. I tell people this, the biggest thing is I thought we had more time, and I lost my friend, and that's going to be tough through the coming days and weeks. But the Mangold family, they lost a son, a brother, a husband, a father, a guy who was great at all of them. And the fact that he was just a great football player, well, that was just the cherry on the sundae, if you will. And so the world's a little bit of a lesser place. There is a hole that we'll be trying to fill without his giant personality that always fit in there. And just everything that he was able to do for everyone. He's one of a kind. And so as to try to console each other, I appreciate all of it, all the thoughts and the well wishes. It's been an emotional day. Going to continue to be emotional, but Nick was an emotional guy, and I'm fortunate to get to know him and to have him in my life and to be a part of it. Just getting a chance to you never forget the first time you really get a chance to talk to guys. And, Nick played in the North-South game our senior year in high school, and him walking up and just coming in and playing. It was just awesome. For some reason, I don't know why he wasn't on the team to begin with, and we needed another lineman. And AJ's like, we could get Mangold. And I'm like, well, why? I don't know if he didn't sign up for it or what happened. They just kind of had him come in. He showed up 3 days before the game, walked in there and played. And he actually played defense. I don't think he played center. I think he played defensive tackle. But just one of the best, man. And it's been awesome to see how he's been memorialized. And I know it's going to be it'll be a tough day when we have to say goodbye to him for the final time. But Nick is a guy that I don't know if you ever have to say truly goodbye to, because of all of the impact that he had, that there's a little piece of him living in all his friends. So that's got me juiced today. Bodie, what's Slay's got to say?
I love Waffle House. I love it so much that I tried to make my own Waffle House last night. And I had a bunch of sausage and bacon, eggs, and I made waffles. And it was delightful. Do anything as good as Waffle Houses? No. Why? I don't know. I need to go get their batter. Waffle House, start selling your batter. I will go buy it.
I would have to imagine you could probably purchase that somewhere if I had to take a guess, Slay.
And Bodie, I think you were correct in that. We determined that day. And he was like, well, maybe it's the waffle iron then. Maybe I need one of their irons.
Yeah,
that's the problem.
That's probably it. Great job all hour there on that, Carp. I don't really know how you did that, but you're a stronger person than I. So my thoughts, prayers, my heart was definitely with you all day yesterday. You and all your, teammates, everybody with the Mangold family and whatnot. As soon as I saw that news, I was telling Tito I got in here for the men's basketball game yesterday, probably shortly after noon, give or take. And so I didn't see the news for a little while just because I was in here kind of busy getting set up for the game and whatnot. And I was definitely in shock with it and whatnot, and very crushed for all you guys there. A little bit juiceless on something that is nowhere near as important as that, certainly, but actually, you know what? Let me flip it into more positive.
There we go.
How about that? I would like to send a huge shout out and a thank you to both Ryan Baker and Colin Behringer for helping Reimer and I get set up for the men's game yesterday. I was joking with those two and Beamer and Skip and basically everybody else that I talked to or was in the building with yesterday. It was an exhibition for all of us.
Yes, preseason game.
It was a preseason game for everybody, man. Buckeyes played well. They looked pretty good there against OU. Reimer told me that OU should be a decent MAC team. And you could take that to the bank because that guy probably knows more about college basketball than I know about myself. But it's like we got in here. That was my first time doing anything on the FM with Zeta.
Isn't that weird?
Like literally ever.
I know.
In the 4 months or whatever it's been. Or I guess we've only been with Zeta for a month and change here. But since flipping over here on this side of the hallway and replacing Shark when he retired back in July. So that was pretty bumpy for me. Baker was teaching Reimer and myself, even though I was supposed to be the one that was training Reimer. But we got through it, and it was all good there. Buckeyes played well and got the win, I guess.
Yeah.
We're still 0-0, but got the win, right?
Yep.
And it was fun to see Beamer. That was the first time I'd seen him in a while, and good to see him and catch up with him and whatnot. I wasn't super juiced about the Cowboys defense, but you know what? We'll just let that be for today because, hey, man, I kind of knew that was coming. Unfortunately, I didn't necessarily expect them to give up 40-plus, but that defense is a mess, Tito. But, hey, man, it's just a game. We'll get through that and be all right. So what's got you juiced today, Tito?
This weekend was a lot of fun. Started off on Saturday morning at the Shoe when our flag football team, our third grade team, got to go out and play several games on the field, and that was pretty cool. And I know, Bob, you had other commitments there. You had another football game to attend for your son. Is that right?
Well, I do XM on the morning.
Oh, that's what it was. Okay.
Morning, so I had that instead. Yeah.
Anyway, it was pretty cool because the kids came out with through the tunnel. Had the smoke, had some music playing, and the kids had a lot of fun doing that. They looked flat in the first game, but they rallied. And I told you this, Bob, the second game, Caleb set the tone with playing defense, and Caleb and Artie and those guys had a great last two games there. And they beat another UA team in their final game with a bunch of friends of theirs, which was fun to see them all communicate before the game. They were excited to be playing each other. And then ended up on the right side of that. The kids were pretty proud and excited. It was a lot of fun. Great end of the flag football season. Then Artie had 2 soccer games on Saturday. They went 1-0-1, won their first game Sunday, and then lost in a shootout for the championship. They got beaten in PKs, is what they would say. I know Beamer would correct me if he were here. Lost on penalty kicks. Lost the championship there. But it was a lot of fun for the weekend. So many sports going on. And it's funny. Because it worked perfect because it was a bye week for Ohio State, but there was nothing really, no big upsets in college football. Lots of craziness yesterday in the NFL with some of those results. Like I really thought, Bobby, I don't know, you felt like I thought the Bears would end up beating the Ravens without Lamar Jackson being there. Again, the Bears look completely flat. I know it's a road game for them, and so it's obviously not easy winning on the road ever. In the NFL, but still, I thought that the Bears would do something there. The Steelers game last night was disappointing. I thought they would get the win on that one. I did not have any live wagers, but if I did, I would have lost a lot. Zoo Review said that he won $160 on a $5 four-way parlay. Your Highness would be proud. You missed it, by the way, too, Bobby, on Friday when Jay-Z was in here for you. We had Your Highness on for a second day.
Nice.
And Jay-Z told a story about you and Tressel again, too, by the way, with Penn State on your way out there. When
Good. I'm glad he got that in.
He made sure to work that in. I can't remember how. Always talking about just Penn State going up there in general to the stadium and whatnot. This week, Bob, with the Penn State game, there's no way this is a trap game at all for Ohio State, right? It can't be.
Not with Jim Knowles being there. I mean, I don't think so at all. Those guys are going to be locked in. This has always been a good game. There's a lot here, and they're not going to play each other now. This is the final one for a while. So I think all these guys want to make sure that they get that win. And Ryan does a good job of making sure that they get amped up and ready to go and like emotionally prepared for all those games.
Yeah, it'll be interesting, but there's some good games coming up this weekend. Obviously, I'm excited about that. And as we get the playoff. I'm not sure what's the first. There's the first one after this weekend when they do the first CFP reveal.
It's December. Or November. It's that first Tuesday in November is when they do it. So yeah, it'll be after this. Whatever. Saturday's the 1st, 2nd, 3rd, so the 4th, I believe.
Okay, yeah, we'll have the first reveal on that one, and I'm anxious to see what that's going to look like. I got to believe Ohio State will be one. I've seen Heather Dennis did her thing again, Bob, on ESPN. Where
Twitter was having the Buckeye fandom of the Twitter world was loving Heather Dennis over the weekend. I saw
she was making the case that if Ohio State and Alabama both win out, Alabama could make a case for being the number 1 seed. Is that logical, Bob?
Well, here's the thing. I mean, they do have one loss. It's a bad loss. It's the worst Florida State gets. They do have a lot of great wins, really good wins, but I think there's just an understanding belief that Ohio State's the best team. And here's the thing, like, well, why would they think, well, who have they beat? I had to listen to Desmond Howard just espouse this nonsense too. He's the worst, Bodie. And that's fine. I'll say that. Like his logic, he's like, they haven't been tested this and I go, listen, man, you could say that if they hadn't won the national championship last year. I know it's a different team and it's a new year.
Kind of tested.
But this team's coming off they're coming off a national championship.
Right.
Like Julian's saying, yeah, he wasn't the starter, but like these guys know what it takes. They've been through it all, and they just went through it last year. No one was saying this about Georgia, when they were going back to back, like, oh, well, maybe they haven't been tested. Maybe they aren't quite as good. Crazy town.
Yeah, you're right. Look, Alabama, no doubt, they've got a very tough schedule this year. I mean, they've Georgia, Vandy, Missouri, Tennessee. They've beaten all them.
Florida State.
They lost to Florida State. They still have Oklahoma on their schedule. They have the Eastern Illinois game coming up too. Don't.
Oh, Tony Romo.
Is that Salukis?
No idea. Just know it's the home of Tony Romo and Jimmy G.
Maybe the Panthers. Yes, Jimmy G. Somebody else too.
Payton.
Who else?
Sean Payton.
Okay, Sean Payton. Yeah, that's the other one. Yeah, Sean Payton also Eastern Illinois. They're not Salukis. Southern Illinois is the Salukis. Eastern Illinois, I think it might be the Panthers. Anyway,
I know Northern Illinois is the Huskies.
You know that. NIU. Yes,
year.
You learned that. Everyone talked about the Huskies last year for a week or so, and then later on in the season. So anyway, Juicers, thank you for bringing it again today. We appreciate it. I know it's kind of a different kind of show, and all you guys that chimed in, the love to Bob, the love to the Mangold family, and all of that, appreciate all of that. Bob, thank you again for your honesty, and I know the show was not easy for you. Hey, Bob, why don't you take tomorrow off?
I already got it in the calendar, so that works out pretty good for me.
Works out great then. Thanks so much, Bobby. Thank you, the Juicers. Thank you, Bodie. We'll talk again tomorrow. This has been Morning Juice.